Hey, what's up guys? This is a build I will be running on my Titan for the new dungeon and seasonal activity. We will be spamming Void Overshields consistently, and with the new update, Void Overshields are a force to be reckoned because they now grant a 50% damage reduction. So in order to gain that Void Overshield, we will have two ways to get them from the Void subclass in this build. On top of that, we will be adding another source of damage reduction, so you will be guaranteed to survive endgame content. We'll be making everything around us volatile, which will guarantee healing for us and for the team. Therefore, combined with infinite overshields and healing for our entire team, this build tanks a lot of damage and it dishes out that damage as well. This build competes with the Arcanate Titan or a Solar Hammer Titan because the Arcanate Titan lacks healing and the Solar Titan lacks range. This build gives us both, so let's dive straight in. I was honestly surprised by the setup of this build. This was the build I was running when I was doing my solo attempts on the brand new dungeon. And for the super, I was rocking Sentinel Shield. The reason why I prefer Sentinel Shield over Ward of Dawn is because 9 times out of 10 you do have a Warlock in the group, and since buffs do not stack, there's absolutely no reason you should be running Ward of Dawn. I like Sentinel Shield because it gets me out of sticky situations when you are low on your health and you can't consistently cycle out your Void Overshield. For your class ability, we will be running the Rally Barricade consistently. The Rally Barricade gives us increase weapon reload, stability, and range when you stand behind it. I like that more than just a towering barricade because in certain situations, being able to reload faster and quicker gives us that little bit of more of an edge. That's why I like it. For our void melee, we will be running shield throw. Shield throw, actually, when it hits a target, it can ricochet off target and surfaces, but once it hits a target, it will grant you that overshield. So that's one way we'll be guaranteeing ourselves to give us a void overshield so we can get a 50% damage reduction. So our melee will be the shield throw. For our grenade, we'll be sticking with the Vortex grenade. It's one of the best grenades on the Titan, and it's the one I run consistently, so I do hope you guys pick this grenade. For the aspects, we will be running Controlled Demolitionist, and when we're running this void aspect, hitting an enemy with a void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode. So all the purple explosions you guys are seeing on the screen right now is because of this void aspect, Controlled Demolition. And when those enemies explode, it's going to grant you and nearby allies health. So this is how this build competes with every other build, because just making the enemy volatile and killing that enemy is going to give you healing no matter how far away you are from those targets. The next aspect we'll pick up will be Bastion. The first thing that it says on Bastion is that when you cast your super, you grant an overshield to nearby allies. We're not worrying about that too much. The real reason why we are picking up Bastion, even though it gives us one fragment slot, is because while casting a barricade, this is the second way we're going to grant ourselves an overshield. Casting a barricade grants overshield to yourself and nearby allies and empowers it. So even while you're taking damage, your barricade will slowly regen health, and whenever you want to get back to like a full entire overshield, you just have to step back behind your barricade again, and that's going to grant you your full barrier. That's why we're picking up Bastion. That's our second aspect. So the two aspects we are running will be Controlled Demolition and Bastion. Those are the two aspects we will be. 3 fragments we will be running will be Echo of Remnants. Echo of Remnants because it's going to increase the duration of our Vortex grenade, and we like the increased duration because anytime we do hit an enemy, we're going to combine that with Echo of Undermining, so we're also going to weaken these enemies. So Echo of Undermining combined with Echo of Remnants, because Echo of Remnants gives our Vortex grenade a longer duration, and Echo of Undermining makes that any target our grenade hit, they're not going to become weakened. Third fragment we do want will be Echo of Instability, so when we do defeat a target from our grenades, we're going to be granting ourselves volatile rounds. And when we do shoot enemies with our volatile rounds, since we do have on Controlled Demolition, anytime we hit a target with a void ability or volatile explosion, we will gain health. So that's the two ways we're going to be gaining health right now. We're going to be gaining health every time we defeat a target with our grenade, and once we defeat a target with our grenade, that's going to grant our void weapons volatile rounds, and once we kill enemies with our gun, we will be gaining health, because we're going to make those enemies volatile because our weapons will not have volatile. You see the kind of synergy this build is going. You throw a grenade down, once you get a kill with that grenade, you're going to gain health. As soon as you do gain a health back, your gun is going to now have volatile rounds, and once you start killing enemies with their volatile rounds weapon, you're going to gain even more health back. So you can kind of see how this build is synergizing, and that is it for our subclass. We want to have longer grenades. We want our grenades to weaken targets, and once we do defeat an enemy with our grenades, we're going to grant volatile rounds to our void weapon. The exotic of choice will be Heart of Innermost Light. Heart of Innermost Light works on pretty much every single subclass, no matter what subclass you want to rock. We rock it because the perk on Heart of Innermost Light means that it's called Overflowing Light. So when we do use an ability, it empowers the other two abilities. And empowerment means that the other abilities have a faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and the barricades have more hit points. So I do believe it's a 200% regen increase to your abilities when it's a ×2. And that is really strong. You're pretty much rocking Heart of Innermost Light 80% of the time because it's a really strong. Now combined with Heart of Innermost Light, the build is pretty much complete. Now we're just adding things on top of it to make that build stick out a little bit more and compete with the other builds. Right now for the first mod, we will be using Font of Might. We have Font of Might so we can get an increased 25% damage buff anytime we do pick up an elemental well. And to spawn those elemental wells, we will be running Reaping Wellmaker. And with Reaping Wellmaker, after activating our class ability, which is our barricade, your next weapon Final Blow spawns a Void Elemental. So as soon as we slap down our barricade, next weapon blow will spawn a Void Elemental Well. Once we pick up that Void Elemental Well, we will be gaining Font of Might. The next thing we do have is Well of Tenacity. That's the second damage reduction we do have. Once we pick up a Void Elemental Well, it will reduce the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time. So now you do have a 50% damage reduction just from wearing your overshield. On top of that, you're going to have Well of Tenacity from picking up a Void Elemental Well. The other two mods I do have will be Bountiful Well. So instead of spawning one Elemental Well, we're going to spawn 2 Elemental Wells. And we just want to extend the duration of Well of Tenacity for a little bit longer and Font of Might for a little bit longer. So we do have Elemental Time Battle. And those are the mods. I switched Weekend Clear and Solo Operative if I am in a solo setting. So sometimes I might take off Elemental Time Dilation and then throw on Solo Operative if it's just me. But if it's not just me, then I take off Solo Operative and I throw back on Elemental Time Dilation. And that's the build. We want to spawn Void Elemental Wells from defeating targets after we use our class ability. Since we are going to be using Heart of Innermost Light, anytime we use an ability, it's going to empower the other ability. And we will be rocking 100 Resilience and 100 Discipline. Try to go for those two. If you can't go for those two, then at least get 100. And that's it for the build, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and share it if you guys like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.